Okay, so according to the title of this video, yes, we are back at it again with another bathroom story. I know it sounds crazy because we've done so many of these to the point where it's actually getting, well, you guys would say unbelievable. But honestly, let's be realistic here. Like, you gotta understand, I'm a guy who loves bathrooms. Bathrooms are one of the most private places ever. Either I want to sit in there and watch Jacksepticeye, or bring a girl in there with me and do the devil's tango. And this story is exactly that. But this time, as you guys can tell from the title, in the McDonald's bathroom. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, please just listen to this quick word from our sponsor, GXE. Now, do you ever get bored of just playing the same games over and over again? And honestly, you can't find anything better but the Google offline mode where you can just jump with a little baby dinosaur? Well, do I got you covered? Or actually, I should say GXE has got you covered by Opera. GXE is a platform for gamers like us and also game developers. There's so many games to play, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there's so many to the point where you can be on there infinitely. There's games that I like to play as well. For example, I played a lot of IZBot, which is about a robot that does cool parkour and stuff through maps, and you gotta be super quick. Or Grapple Tongue, where you could literally grapple with your tongue, and that's kind of hot, actually. Wait, it's a penguin? Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. And also on top of that, there's Table Tanks, where you can literally drive a tank and literally destroy other people. And not only that, there's also ways where you could show off your high scores and flex to all the ladies and your friends too, if you want. You can flex to your friends as well about your awesome scores. And on top of that, if you guys also want to become a game developer, you can also create games as well. So click the link down in my bio and come hang out at the GXE website where you could do so many cool mini games and so much more. Now let's get straight back into the devil's tango. I mean the video. Back to the video. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story is something totally crazy, and honestly, it's something that I didn't want to tell, but let's be realistic here. You guys love the bathroom stories I tell, from me doing it into the airplane bathroom to the girls' change room, which is not a bathroom, but I guess it counts as a bathroom, and now, of course, the McDonald's bathroom. So I want to say the story takes place back when I was like in grade 9. Now, funny enough, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't look the best in grade 9. Hell, I looked like this, for God's sakes. Like, I literally made videos looking like this and still pulling women. And before anyone says anything like, oh my goodness, you look like that and you pulled someone? Yeah, you're such a capper. Like, no way that's real. Honestly, guys, let's be realistic here. If you think you only need good looks to pull women, you are ultimately probably the most brain dead person I ever met on this planet. Like, you guys realize that, like, personality is a thing? I know, shocking. I didn't believe it at first either, but apparently if you have a good personality, girls will attach to you like magnets. But going on, I remember one time I was kind of just going through my school hallway and I was just kind of walking around. And obviously at the time, I had a friend who had this like girlfriend who also had a friend that actually somewhat knew about me. Now, to be honest, I didn't know what she knew about me because in grade 9, I wasn't really like full on into my slaying days, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't actually like start slaying women and being awesome with my eggplant until like, I don't know, I want to say like grade 10, 11, and 12-ish. But this was like a totally new thing. And honestly, like me, I think I was just mostly known for how I used to rage on video games all the time. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. If I had to slam on the desk, I would. And I guess one time, like, I had friends over and they recorded me doing that. And I guess that kind of went around the school. But I remember one time there was this one girl, and like I said, she was friends with my friend's girlfriend at the time. And I remember she was walking down the hallway and she bumped into me. And by bumping, I don't mean like that weird cinematic bump where it's like in the movies you see like in Spider-Man or something. Like, this was an actual like genuine like bump. Like, I literally bumped into her and like literally all her books dropped and everything. It was actually, yeah, the more I think about it, it was like kind of like the movies. But in a way, in the movies, usually the guy would bend down on a knee and help out. Psych, I'm no simp. I didn't bend down for anything. To be honest, I kind of just watched her pick up all her books. I know, kind of mean of me, but at the same time, you know, I show dominance. That sounds so mean. But going on. So I remember as she was picking up her books, she ended up looking up at me and I ended up looking at her eyes. And me and her kind of had like that staring session that most people enjoy for some reason. I don't know. She was kind of staring at me. I was kind of staring at her, and it got to the point where she actually stood up and said, hey, like, aren't you like Bubba? And then I look at her and I'm like, yeah, like what's going on? She looked at me, and then after that, she looked at her phone and she's like, oh, like, I don't have to be in class for like the next, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. You want to like maybe walk and talk? I got nothing to do and all my friends are in class. And me looking down at my clock, knowing I actually had to go to class, but a hot girl asking me to kind of miss class was not really a bad thing, I guess. Don't skip classes, but at the same time, you do your own choices. So I remember I ended up saying, yeah, sure. Like, I'm down to like, you know, walk around, hang out, like, not an issue. So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up walking around the school. We started talking and stuff. And, you know, we had a good conversation. Most of the conversation was about my friend and his girlfriend because, you know, apparently they had like a lot of beef throughout the years. I don't know why. I guess girls like talking about other girls' beefs and relationship issues. But then I kind of got straight to the point because let's be real here. The boys don't smack talk the other boys. Unless you're not a boy, then I don't know what you're doing. And I started talking about her. I ended up saying, so like, what about you? Like, you got any like guy issues? Because, you know, I'm kind of scoping out the land, trying to see like what's going on. And she says to me, oh, like recently, like me and my boyfriend kind of just, you know, broke up. It kind of sucked. But, you know, like, I think it's time for me to like go out, do crazy things, and just say yes to things in life. When I heard her say that, I'm not joking. I was kind of looking on the internet to see where I heard that quote from. Because let's be realistic here. No girl says that. But then she started talking about how she like started like really not caring about things she wants to do. And she just kind of wanted to express herself and explore. And fun fact, I ended up saying this right after. I mean, like, you know, I kind of get that. Like, I'm kind of the same way, you know. I'm exploring my things too, you know. Because that was the beginning stage of my slaying Devil's Tango age. And then she looked at me, and then he kind of just started talking more and more. And then I added her on Snap, and then I went back to my class. When I went back to my class, honestly, I don't know what it is when I first talk to women, but I kind of feel that nice attachment. Not attachment issues, but like, you know, I started like being like, you know, flirtatious with her. So me and her started snapping back and forth throughout class. I'm not even joking. I don't think I got any schoolwork done. And me and her were just talking back and forth, like nonstop pop. And then I remember she snapped me saying, hey, like, I'm going to McDonald's like after school. Do you want to like maybe come with me? Like, you know, maybe get like a Big Mac or something. Kind of weird for a girl to ask me at McDonald's. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I've heard like girls ask me to go to Chipotle or, you know, go to like even sushi, like, you know, but like McDonald's kind of a first for me. I'm not gonna lie. So I ended up just saying, oh yeah, sure, like I'm down to go to Don's. Because honestly, let's be realistic, if I ended up paying, it would be cheap because McDonald's is cheap, so might as well. So I ended up going to McDonald's with her after school. And when we started walking down there, she started like kind of like getting close to me, kind of leaning towards me, kind of, you know, let's just say she was closer than average. Like, it got to the point where I actually did end up putting my hand around her waist. So me looking like this, pulling a girl like that, and putting my hand around her waist, honestly, it's like the Matrix. It just didn't make sense. The Matrix does make sense. I was joking about that, but never mind. Going on. So when me and her went into the McDonald's, we sat down and we started like putting our books out and everything, because apparently we were going to study, which, let's be real here, is definitely cap, but you know, whatever. And we ended up going to like this like cool thing where you can like order your food on like this cool big machine thing. It's kind of futuristic looking. I don't know. For me, it was futuristic looking, but apparently it was like a new thing they added back when I was in high school. And we did our order. It ended up being like 25 bucks, which is not a loss, I'm gonna be honest. And we went back to the table. The person brought us food. We started eating our food, and then halfway through eating our food, she ended up getting a text message from her ex-boyfriend. Now, honestly, here's some quick relationship advice with Bubba. If you have an ex person in your life, make sure you actually explain and elaborate on the ex, making sure that they're actually out of your life. Because I hate when people are like, oh, like, I have like an ex-boyfriend, and the boyfriend ends up showing up at her house like every second day. Like, I'm sorry, that's not an ex. That's still your boyfriend. You know, it's common sense. But when I saw that text message, I was like, oh, like, do you want me to like leave? Like, I don't want to intrude anything. You know what I'm saying? She ended up showing me her phone of what her ex-boyfriend texted her, and her ex-boyfriend literally told her to KYS. I'm not gonna actually say it because I don't know what YouTube monetization would do. Because let's be real here, we're already on the borderline with these videos. Don't ban me, YouTube. And it got to the point where she actually almost ended up kind of looking down, but then started being angry. She ended up explaining to me how her boyfriend could never make her finish, and she started like basically making fun of her boyfriend in bed. And that was where my golden opportunity came in. I instantly said, I mean, like, you know, I'm a professional. Jokingly at first, but then she took it seriously and said, oh, really now? You're a professional? And I started making that joke where I was like, you know, like, yeah, I'm a professional, you know, like I made that joke over and over to the point where she actually believed it. And you know what? She got in the mood. And when she was in the mood, I'm not gonna lie, I activated like a rocket. Like me and my eggplant were like, go, go, go. Like if I was a movie of Inside Out, I think I would just have a bunch of eggplants in my head just jumping around saying, my turn, my turn, my turn. But going on, I remember she ended up standing up and she actually started like, you know, grabbing my wrist and walking me over to the bathroom. The only times girls grab my wrist is usually when they want to drag me somewhere to finish, you know, and do the Devil's Tango. And that's what we did. We ended up going straight into the girls' bathroom. And yes, we did go into the girls' bathroom this time, not the guys' bathroom, which was really weird for me. But we went in there, and after that, we went into a bathroom stall and we ended up doing it. We literally ended up doing the Devil's Tango. For I want to say like maybe like 10, 20 minutes. We didn't go for that long because let's be real here, it was in the bathroom. Actually, it was kind of funny because we ended up like, you know, making noise. Well, she was making noise. I was mostly just, you know, I can't really say in detail what I did, but it makes sense. I did the Devil's Tango. Like that's the most I can really say here. But the weirdest part was that I remember hearing the door open, and it was like a person that like just walked in. It was like an old Asian mom or something, and she had her kid with her as well. And I remember her kid like ended up looking under the stall as me and her were doing the Devil's Tango, and she literally screamed. This little Asian girl ended up screaming her head off for some reason. And her mom's like, what's going on in there? What's going on? And that's when I knew we were totally screwed. The girl that was in front of me that, you know, I ended up doing the devil's tango with, ended up putting her clothes on as fast as damn possible. Like, I'm not joking. I think it took her like 1.5 seconds. And by that, I mean, she literally just pulled her pants up and pulled her shirt down. And me, I just, you know, put my pants on as fast as possible. And the next minute, when we walk out of the stall to get out of there, I see the Asian mom, I see the Asian kid, and then I see a McDonald's worker. Great. That is ultimately fantastic. We got the whole audience. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was never a fan of having audiences when I did the devil's tango. Like, let's be realistic here. It's not fun to have an audience unless the audience was gonna join in later. That sounds really bad. You know what? Never mind. I remember afterwards, we ended up like walking straight back to our table, and the worker was like literally behind us. And when we sat down at our table, the worker came up to our table and said, you guys need to understand that like you guys can't like do that in our bathrooms. Like, literally just get a room. Like, what are you talking about? And I remember me, I looked at the girl I did it with, and we just kind of started giggling, and we're like, yeah, like, sorry about that. Like, you know, just teenager stuff, you know, just couldn't get the best of it. And then as she walked away, I remember the girl in front of me looked at me and said, that was literally so awesome. And I ended up, I guess, kind of showing her that saying yes to things in life is sometimes a good thing, even if it's just doing the devil's tango. But anyways, guys, that's basically it for the story. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already to this channel. And also make sure you guys join the Discord server and join the Twitch streams down below for more awesome stories. Now, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys. Oh boy, just great. Another bathroom story. Outstanding. Now, I know I've already done a bathroom story before if you guys have seen the channel, and you guys literally destroyed it. And I remember mentioning one of my like recent videos that, you know, I had a story time about how I did it in a Walmart bathroom. And funny enough, this is actually true. I did the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. Now, how did this happen is pretty weird, but honestly, all I gotta say is that I feel like bathrooms are like our new safe haven. Like, honestly, I feel so much safer in a bathroom. Like, I don't know why. I guess probably because they have locks on the door, and my bedroom doesn't have a lock on the door, and anyone could just walk in. You know what? That's a story for another time. All right, yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So like I said in the title, yes, this is actually about me doing the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, you guys are probably typing down in the comments being like,
oh my goodness, this guy has such fake stories. Like, I believe none of them are real.
and you know what? We could argue all day, but this is my life, and this is literally what happened. So let's get straight into it. So obviously, this story starts back in high school. So back in high school, I remember I was just chilling, doing my own thing, and I had a social studies class. You guys don't know what social studies is? Well, it sucks because it's literally just talking about all the past mistakes that this world have done, which I guess, you know, this continues happening. But anyways, when I entered my social studies class, I saw our seating arrangement change. Now, if you guys don't know what a seating arrangement is, basically, like, we have like our own desks, and, you know, like, usually we would change it into groups or into rows. You know, it's just a mix and match kind of thing. And I remember my desk changed to a spot beside a really hot chick, or girl. Sorry, I know you guys don't want me to say chick, so I'm gonna say girl. Now, this girl was outstanding, and she was amazing. She looked great. She had a beautiful scent on her, and I'm not saying go sniff girls, but I'm saying she smelled good. And I remember, like, you know, as we were sitting beside socials and stuff, we had like a socials class on, like, I don't know, I think we were talking about something. I don't remember what exactly, because I kept like getting distracted by the chick beside me. But I remember me and her were kind of like nudging each other. We were being kind of flirtatious here and there and stuff like that. And this went on for like almost a week. Now, funny enough, I didn't ask for a Snapchat, nothing, because she told me like she doesn't have Snapchat, which is a total false information, by the way. I think every girl has Snapchat. If they don't, then they're definitely hiding something. But, you know, she always told me she didn't. And obviously, you know, as time went on, I remember one day as we were in social studies class, she was looking at me and saying, what are you doing after school? Now, me being the weird, annoying, kind of shy person, I was like, oh, nothing, you know, just probably gonna go home, you know, just to work out. You know, I said some BS that wasn't actually gonna happen. And then she's like, oh, I mean, like, do you want to come to the mall with me? I have to do some shopping. Now, I never got invited to the mall by a chick before at this time. It was kind of weird thinking about it because I was worried it's gonna be like another sugar mama situation. But surprising enough, you know, she was pretty good off, you know, on her own. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I remember after school came, me and her, we ended up, you know, getting our things and we head over to the mall. So fun fact, the mall was literally super close to us. Like, I could literally say the mall was like maybe like a 5-minute walk from my high school. And as we were, you know, at the mall, we were walking around, we went around the food court and stuff. I remember my friend was texting me, and he he was saying, yo, are you getting on Xbox? Like, are you gonna hop on today? And me being the dumb person I was like, no, dude, like I'm hanging out with a hot chick right now. Like she's so hot. She wants me to hang out with her in the mall. And obviously my friends are like, dude, like for the boys, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? I don't know. Honestly, I regret it to this day because for the boys, man, for the boys. But going on, I remember as we were roaming around this mall, she was like kind of like again, nudging me. And obviously like, you know, it got to the point where she was like getting close to me and stuff. And then I remember we went over to like a sports shop or whatever. I think it was like Sport Check or something. I'm not sure what. And we entered in there. And she was telling me how like she plays golf and stuff. And, you know, she wants to be a golfer and stuff like that. I don't know. It was like a whole bunch of cap. Like it sounded like cap. I'm going to be honest. But I remember she was like telling me like, oh, like I'm going to hold the putter like this. And I know a lot of us have seen in movies, like, you know, that romantic like putter grab where like the guy goes around her and like, you know, kind of like thrusts her and helps her use the putter. I don't know. It was some, I don't know how to explain it in like a PG form so this video doesn't get demonetized. But you know what I mean. So I do that with her and, you know, I kind of like show her how to use it because obviously there's like those demo putter areas where you could like practice your puttering. And then she was like telling me like how she like liked it as I was like holding her and stuff. And it got really, really intense in a way. So I remember after she said she wanted to go get snacks at Walmart. So this is where things get very interesting. And I think you guys are going to start freaking out after this one. She literally takes us to Walmart, or me to Walmart, I should say. She kind of like, you know, hangs out around me and, you know, does that kind of like, you know, oh, like this is cool. This is cool. Oh, this is a good snack. And then we kind of like really like got close at some moment. I don't remember what. I think she was showing me a lightsaber or some toy. I don't remember. And then we were both holding it. And then after that, like, I guess we started like kind of making out in the toy section. I don't know if there was any kids around. I hope not, actually, the more I think about it. And then she's like, follow me. Now, she literally grabbed me kind of by the wrist. Well, thumb and wrist. It was kind of like a weird handhold in a way. And she took me over to the Walmart bathroom. Now she told me, stay here and in 30 seconds, come into the bathroom. She goes into like the disability bathroom, or, you know, the bathroom where it has like that cool like guy sitting on the cool chair thing. I always thought it was a toilet seat when I was younger, but I guess it's like a chair now. I don't know. Or a wheelchair. Oh boy, if it's a wheelchair, I feel bad. And basically 30 seconds later, I went into that bathroom and she was like, take off your pants. And as obviously you guys do know it, yes, this is actually something that happened. We did the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. This went on for, I want to say like 10 minutes because I thought it was going to be a quickie, bro. Like I had to make it quick, simple, and straight out. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, me and her, we were able to make that happen because, you know, I guess we were both really professionals at doing the devil's tango. So after that, I remember like she like instantly started putting her clothes on. She went out of the bathroom first. And then me standing there, like I just finished getting ready and I was just like, you know, fixing my hair and stuff in the mirror so it doesn't look like I got like totally just destroyed in a bathroom. And then as I was fixing my hair, she left. And I want to say like 2 seconds later, an old guy walked in. And the old guy just looks at me. And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know this was taken. I didn't know you were in the lineup. This old guy definitely knew what was going on. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but this old guy definitely knew what happened. And he just turned around and didn't really want to question it. And I remember I left the bathroom and I like left. And for some reason, there was some Walmart worker just kind of like looking at me. And he was kind of staring me down. And then I saw the old guy actually going up to the Walmart worker and like pointing at me. And let's just say, as usual as I usually do, I walked out of there and kind of just ran outside and ran back to the school so I can just disappear. Because I don't know, I guess school is kind of a safe haven as well. Doing it in the Starbucks bathroom. Now, this honestly was the most weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm going to be honest, I'm so surprised this even happened in the first place. Because as you guys may know, we have a crazy bathroom story series on this channel. And I didn't think this was going to be part of it, but it seems like it did. And the way this ended up happening was honestly intense and it was actually hilarious. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as well as I am currently live on Twitch. If you guys want to go check that out, go right for it. Links down in the bio. But let's get straight into this crazy story. What is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story, funny enough, takes place back when I was in grade 12. Back in grade 12, this was towards graduation year, and honestly, I remember one time me and my friends were all hanging out in the cafeteria. As we were all sitting around chilling in the cafeteria, I remember a friend of mine walks up to the table saying, yo bro, like there's like these group of like white chicks just chilling outside. Do you want to go check them out? Me and my friends, we ended up standing up and going straight to the outside area where they were hanging out. I remember as we got there, we ended up looking around and kind of just looking at them, and they were kind of glancing at us, and knowing there was a group of girls and a group of guys, honestly everything kind of worked out. Obviously there was only 4 of the girls though, and there was only 5 of us, so obviously one of the guys had to get laid back, and by laid back I mean like, you know, get away, because no one likes a 6th wheel, that would be. But then I remember that one of my friends walked up to me saying, bro, can you sit out for this one? Can I have a chance? I remember I looked at him and I like kind of like felt bad, because like this sounds really rude of me to say, but he was the ugly one in the group. Like you guys cannot deny this. In every friend group there's always that one ugly person, or that one person that never, how do I put this, is not the most photogenic. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but you know, from my resume of women compared to his, the only thing he had was his mom. So obviously, knowing me, I did say to him, yeah, bro, like go for it. Like she looks better for you anyway. And I kind of leaned off. We ended up walking up to the group of girls, and I remember as we walked up to them, the group of girls were kind of like already like choosing who they kind of wanted, because even though we had a choice, they also had a choice of who they wanted. And I remember the girl walked up to me and she's like, oh, like, so like, what's your name? And I kind of looked at her. I'm like, oh, this is my buddy. His name is, I'm not gonna say what's his name, guys. I don't actually can't say his name legally, but we're just gonna call him Gerald. I said, hey, this is Gerald. The girl looks over at me and she's like, okay, but like, what's your name? And me being the awesome wingman I am, I was like, his name is Gerald. Kind of giving her the hint that I kind of wanted her to go away from me. Even though I'm not gonna lie, she was hot. She looked kind of like weird at me, and then after she looked at Gerald, she's like, hi, Gerald, how are you? And from there, I ended up just walking away. Now, you guys probably think, okay, why would you hand off a girl like that? That's kind of weird. And I agree, it is, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I felt bad for the guy. Anyways, I remember as a group, we all ended up going to the mall together, because the mall was like 5 minutes away from our school. But as we were heading there, I remember how much it sucked being a sixth wheel. Like, I'm sorry, if you're being a sixth wheel or even a third wheel or any sort of wheel in general, just leave. I remember I was planning to go get my car and just basically just go straight home. And as I was on my phone, I realized that someone was right behind me that just walked up beside me. And it was the same girl that I introduced to my buddy Gerald. Now, this is where things get really weird, because I remember it was me, the girl, and then Gerald on the other side. And Gerald was trying so hard to get close to this girl. And then after that, this girl was getting so hard to get close to me. And me, I was just walking. So I remember I ended up turning to the girl and saying, oh, like, did I tell you, like, Gerald, like, he plays basketball? She looks at me and she's like, oh, so like, what do you play? She really tried to get my attention. And I know it sounds kind of like, okay, like, you know, why didn't you just, you know, give the girl yourself and just, you know, quit being weird about it? And I'm not gonna lie, I would, but I was already at that state where I was planning on leaving and going home. So, you know, it makes sense. And then eventually throughout the time when we were at the mall, I remember my friend comes over to me and pulls me aside. He says, bro, are you actually like planning on leaving? Because this girl's all over you. It gets me to the point where I think I should just leave instead. And I remember I looked at him, I told him like, bro, like, don't worry, keep going for her. I'm not gonna say anything, nor am I gonna do anything. That's what I initially said. Boy, was I wrong. I remember we ended up all as a group going to Starbucks, and this was like no small Starbucks. Like, this was a big Starbucks that was like massive. And I remember as we got there, we ended up looking around and we kind of sat down as a group. We all ordered Starbucks, we all got some food, some snacks, and obviously we ended up getting some drinks. Me, my usual Starbucks drinks is a caramel frappuccino. You guys can laugh at me for it. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, as we were sitting there, all sitting together, the girl ended up sitting beside me, and me, I got to the point where I just stood up and started walking away. But as I started standing up and walking away, I remember she kind of like looks over to me and walks over to me saying, excuse me, where are you going? And I told her, oh, I'm probably just gonna head home and stuff like that. She's like, can I come with you? And I look at her and I told her like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I'm busy for the rest of the day. Go ahead and ask Gerald. She looks at me again and she's like, well, like, do you have to leave? As she like comes up closer to me, and then she starts stroking my leg. Now at that point, I already knew that she was initially in the mood. And I'm sorry, once a girl comes up to you that close and wants to do the devil's tango, you're not gonna just be like, sorry, psych. Like, no, it's obviously not something that's gonna happen. I remember looking at this, and Gerald was like looking from afar and kind of seeing the whole thing go down, and he was pissed off already. So at that point, he like got up and just left. And as he left, I remember he went right through the door, which was kind of near us at the time. And I remember the girl looks over and says, oh, looks like Gerald's gone. And we ended up going back and sitting down, except we weren't sitting down with my friend group again. We were kind of sitting down far away. At that point, my friends were kind of like, you know, not surprised but weirded out, and they're kind of like winking at me, being all like, ooh, like Bubba's gonna get it, which is not a surprising thing for them. And one thing led to another. I told her I had to go to the bathroom, so I got up, I started going to the bathroom, and when I did, I ended up just going in there. I sat down on the toilet seat, and I remember there was a knock on the door. I remember yelling occupied, but then I see this piece of paper slip under the door, and it was no normal piece of paper. To be honest, it was one of those sleeves on like a coffee mug they usually put on it, and I remember it said on it, open the door now. I looked all like kind of weird and kind of like freaked out, and I opened the door and I see it was her. She slips into the bathroom, closes the door right away, and then she just instantly hops onto me. When she did that, I remember me and her, we ended up doing the devil's tango, and we were just in there. I want to say that went on for like a minimum of like 10 minutes. Not even like we weren't in there for that long, to be honest, because what I remember is that my friends would text me saying, yo bro, like, where'd you go? Like, the girls have to leave, they have a ride home. And I'm like looking at her and she's looking at me, and I'm like, you should go. As we're like midway through it, and she's like, oh, like, let me at least like, you know, like come over to your place maybe later tonight. I looked at her and I'm like, to be honest, I'm busy tonight. In reality, I actually wasn't busy. I just had to play Call of Duty that night. And I remember we both left the bathroom, and a Starbucks worker was just kind of like standing standing on the side, kind of saw us both walking out at the same time. And she looks over and she's like, excuse me, were you guys using the same bathroom? I look at her and I'm like, no. And then after that, the girl's like, no, sorry. And then she just left through the door and went home. And in my head, I'm thinking, she really just left. She really just pumped and dumped. Like, this girl, she just pulled a me. To this day, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised that ever happened. And I remember my friends were outside afterwards as well, kind of being like, yo, where were you? We're looking for you. And I had to explain to them that I basically ditched them and went to the bathroom and ended up doing the devil's tango. And then I remember that wasn't even the worst part, because I think the worst part is that Gerald ended up calling me saying, yo, bro, like the girl that we were talking to, she added me on Snap. I think she actually likes me. And then 10 minutes later goes to say, bro, actually, she wants your Snap. What's your Snap so I can give it to her? Over text. That is crazy. This girl went through Gerald, the guy that I was trying to, you know, introduce her to get my Snap. That's actually hilarious. I don't know. I found that hilarious right after because Gerald was like talking about it all week. But yeah, that is like basically it.